With WrestleMania 40, it really feels like that Night 2 main event, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Championship. It feels like for a lot of people that it is a foregone conclusion that Cody wins. Here's my question, and question to all of you about this. What happens next? Let's assume WrestleMania 40, the pyro goes off, Cody is the winner, he ain't got that chicken in the ring that night, nah. Everyone goes home happy, Cody Rhodes has finished his story, and off we go. What happens after? This is the thing that I'm so curious about. Monday Night Raw hits. What are we looking at? Are we looking at a draft, for example? Who are Cody's opponents? What do you see as the possibilities for the next 6 months to a year for Cody Rhodes? Is he gonna go on a full year-long reign with the belt and just start going through heel after heel and Cody the ultimate babyface champion? So let's rewind for a second. Let's talk about the night after WrestleMania. Last year, WWE did do a draft, but I believe they waited until Backlash was finished and then they had the draft go through. I'd personally like it if they did the night after WrestleMania. I think it would create so much more excitement. You got brand new champions. Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, it's a lot of just hype, having some matches, maybe setting up a few small stories, a lot of promos, celebrations, all of that stuff. But I would love it if the night after Mania and the SmackDown after Mania was the draft, because that builds even more intrigue for what's gonna happen to Cody. But whether the draft is at Monday Night Raw, SmackDown right after Mania, or it's a month after WrestleMania so they can hype and build it up, even if it's later, what is gonna happen to Cody? Does Cody stay on SmackDown or does he go over to Monday Night Raw? Do they flip the titles on the brands? I honestly think a shakeup might be good. Cody has been a staple for Monday Night Raw, and clearly winning that title, he ain't staying there. He would be default over to SmackDown. That's where the belt is. But do you change it up? What if Drew wins the World Heavyweight Championship? Does Drew then get drafted over to Friday Night SmackDown and Cody Rhodes leads Monday Night Raw? Personally, I think he goes to Monday Night Raw or stays on Raw with the belt. 3-hour show. Raw is going over to Netflix. They can really promote Cody in that regard. So what brand he shows up on and stays on, okay, it is what it is. But who's Cody's opponent after WrestleMania? Does he have an opponent at Backlash? What do you do? And what do you do for the next several months after that? Because presumably WrestleMania 40 happens, The Rock is gone after WrestleMania, I assume. Roman Reigns also gone after WrestleMania. You have to get strong opponents for Cody. And this is part of my fear with post-WrestleMania for Cody Rhodes, is that WWE doesn't have the same depth of heels ready to go. In terms of big adversaries, people that are really on the cusp of getting up to that Cody level on the heel side and watching to say that person could challenge Cody and it would be a banger. Don't get me wrong, he can have banger matches with like lots of people on the roster, heel or face. But I feel like that night after WrestleMania, that month after Mania, is a real reset, and it's also going to be a test for several months to see who WWE puts up against him. Like, is Cody going to go and just start feuding with Judgment Day? Are they going to put him in a really cool story on SmackDown with Randy Orton? If he is on SmackDown and things stay kind of the same, does he fight LA Knight? Logan Paul end up challenging after he drops the US title. Gunther on Raw. What if there's a shakeup and Gunther and Cody are on the same brand or stay on the same brand? Gunther either dropping the Intercontinental Championship or whichever way you have it, ends up rolling up to fight Cody. I think Gunther is one of those possible feuds that you really want to build to, either at a Money in the Bank, SummerSlam. I know there's Bash in Berlin. There's a lot of different shows and opportunities to have Gunther go up against the World Heavyweight Champion or fight Cody. But in this instance, we're talking Cody Rhodes here. Besides that, is it Judgment Day again? Like, what are we doing with Cody for the next year? That's what I'm fascinated with. I see the likes of Braun Breaker, for example, just appearing and gonna get built up on SmackDown. I don't think Braun Breaker is anywhere ready to go to that level because he wouldn't beat Cody. It'd be a cool match. It'd be a great spotlight for Braun, but he would quickly roll back down to like mid-card. And I don't think you want to do that with a Braun Breaker. I think you do want to build him up as a Steiner, as a big dominant guy, and hopefully as a heel, because his heel persona was working really well in NXT. So we get past Backlash. Cody's probably going to be on the card. Is it like just a one-off filler match against somebody? Then you have Money in the Bank. Who could be holding Money in the Bank? To me, Like, that's a whole other video we could do, but to me, it's somebody like an LA Knight. Give it to a face, somebody that could get maybe the world title. But I started looking at the roadmap of shows over the course of the year, and I kind of pegged SummerSlam to be a really, really big moment, big show for Cody. I think he will go through several months holding that belt. Question mark and question I have for all of you is, how long does Cody hold this belt for? But let's talk about that in a second. When it comes to SummerSlam, I think you could see the rematch between Roman and Cody. I think you could give us the third match in their series. Roman won the first one, Cody wins the second one and wins the belt. Give us the third one. Yes, you could do it at Mania, but let's all assume we're gonna get Rock Roman at WrestleMania. So SummerSlam, I think, is probably where you could see Cody's biggest test, with Roman Reigns coming back. Bigger, stronger, badder than ever, disgruntled, angry, more aggressive. Because what we've seen in the lead up to WrestleMania is Roman Reigns kind of in the background to The Rock. And there's a lot of story elements at play that I'm really enjoying with that. But Roman's feeling kind of secondary in all of this, and he's the one going up with the belt against Cody. And if Cody takes him down and wins, I see Roman Reigns coming back at SummerSlam, challenging Cody and losing. Why does Roman Reigns lose? Probably because he gets distracted by the bloodline. Maybe they turned on him and went with The Rock, or The Rock shows up at SummerSlam, or The Rock is special guest referee at SummerSlam and screws over Roman Reigns in the main event, in the title match. Cody getting the 2 wins to 1 over Roman Reigns, and SummerSlam could move Rock and Roman off into WrestleMania season after that. But I do worry that Cody is going to be in a position where, does it get boring? The intrigue of Cody's story, in my opinion, is the adversity, is the climb, is the ascension to the top, finally getting the prize. But one of the challenges in wrestling in general for storytelling is when the babyface eventually gets the belt, gets the win. The chase, it's all there. The money is in the chase. The chase for Cody for 2 years has been awesome, and they've done a very good job of keeping that momentum going and not making it feel dull, the crowd not turning on Cody, arguably getting more popular with the Cody Crybabies and The Rock and all of that. But I do have concerns that, what are you doing with Cody after Mania? Gunther, Braun Breaker, Randy, Logan Paul, and how long is Cody gonna hold on to this belt? Do you want Cody to have this thing for a year? Does he need to? When we look back in history, look at the likes of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Biggest moneymaker, biggest draw of the Attitude Era in WWE and wrestling history. Stone Cold only had the belt a couple of times, and because it was the Attitude Era, there was a lot of flip-flopping of that belt. Austin kept the title for a couple of months at a time and then would drop it and then would chase again. McMahon was involved, you know, you had that. And I think that with Cody, you almost need to do that. I don't want to see, personally, I don't want to see a year-long title reign of Cody, because what's the fun in it of just always having it predictable of Cody wins, Cody beat a heel, and you haven't built anybody up? But you got to build the intrigue in there. And I'm not saying that Cody comes out of WrestleMania and loses it the month later, but I am saying that, like, you got to get past like SummerSlam, have the story built in there that maybe Cody is very beaten down, he's dealing with a lot of stuff, he's barely holding on as champion, he defeated Roman Reigns, but at what cost? And maybe you do get a Money in the Bank cash-in, and someone there beats him, like a Gunther, and Gunther goes on a 3-4 month reign. What I'm saying is that all the belts right now in their current state, the World Heavyweight Championship and the Undisputed Championship, they have been tied up with their respective champions for a long time. Seth has been the only champion, and he's done a great job of trying to elevate that belt and get it up to a point where it's like there's prestige there, that it matters that whoever beats Seth for it. I thought somebody would have beaten Seth a while ago, like Nakamura and him had a great match, and it kind of felt like they would have done it there, but they didn't. But for both belts, for me as a fan, I don't want to see these giant long title reigns. I want to see the belts move around a little bit. Not month to month or a Monday Night Raw and the world title is changing hands, but I like the shock and surprise of it. It doesn't always have to be long 2-3 year reigns with the belts like Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is an anomaly, and they built this bloodline story and it all worked and it all made sense for what it was. But I think you have to do something different with Cody. I don't think you can follow the bloodline, the Roman Reigns blueprint, because I think you will run the risk of fans getting a little tired and a little bored of face Cody Rhodes, Mr. Politician, Mr. America, Captain America, always winning. Cody's great strength is overcoming the odds, struggling, and trying to finally beat like Roman Reigns or beat The Rock. We need to see Cody in a lot of adversity throughout his title reign. I would love it personally if you got the shock loss to Cody. What if they did the Madison Square Garden show like I think they're scheduled for? Cody loses it there. Maybe they televise it and they make it a PLE and he loses the belt in the Garden. Like his dad won it and lost it. What if they do that? Cody will get the belt several times over his career, and that is the belt that has the lineage that he wants. And once he does that, it is that checklist item. He's done it. There are interesting stories they can have. One of them that I think really would work to make sure that Cody doesn't get stale, boring, and just overcoming the odds. Randy Orton. I think Randy goes through this triple threat with Kevin Owens, Logan Paul at WrestleMania. I think Randy does not get the belt. You could spin off a story where Randy goes a little more heel and fights Kevin Owens one-on-one at Backlash or on TV or one-on-one with Logan Paul. I personally, my prediction is Logan Paul retains that belt. But after WrestleMania in that season, I'd love to see Randy turn full heel. He's had this babyface return run since Survivor Series, but Randy I always feel is the best character when he is a heel. He's just massive right now. It's scary. So imagine a dominant heel Randy Orton, and imagine Randy and Cody, a heel, vicious, nasty, gigantic heel in Randy Orton going up against Cody Rhodes, and the story you can tell for months of their history. That's the stuff that I think Cody needs in order for his title run to be successful, to play in the history, to play in the past, and not just feed him wrestlers, feed him opponents and heels. He needs depth for me in order for the story to work well. So, what do you think happens post WrestleMania, assuming Cody wins the belt? Where do you go from here? Drop your predictions below. Let me know, guys. If you enjoy unfiltered videos like this, hit the subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.